Okay, how do space aliens poop? I'm sure that they do, but it's not nearly as disgusting as it is when humans take a shit, because space aliens have a higher level of consciousness. With that in mind, I've been around some people who have made me so horny, and I couldn't wait until I could have a chance to stick my dick in their ass. But then they would start blowing farts, and they were smelly and stinky ones. And then the smell of fart has such a disgusting and yucky smell, and it causes my penis to turn soft. But a fart doesn't just have a yucky smell, but the smell of a fart is very evil, and the smell of a piece of fecal matter is very evil. It did not always stink real bad when someone took a shit.
Except for me.
Back in the year 1000 BC, people were able to take a shit and it didn't stink. Also, if someone got stuck their dick up someone's ass, and if they got a piece of fecal matter on their dick, it was considered sexy. Back in those days, people were taught to worship and appreciate the miracle of a bowel movement as a gift from God. Because a bowel movement made fertilizer for Mother Earth. It was poo-poo that made it possible for fruits and vegetables to grow for people to eat. After they ate it, they would then be pooped out their asshole. This is what is known as the cycle of life, but some people refer to it as the cycle of turds. Life was so good back in those days, farmers would pay people money, and the only thing they needed to do was take a shit. Nice work if you could get it. It was not unusual for a wife to have a bowel movement on her husband while they were in the middle of having sex, and he would often say, "Honey, I find the aroma of your turds, of your stool to be so enchanting, and tomorrow I'm going to take your turds to Farmer McDonald, and he's going to give us the money." Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, with a poop-poop here and a poop-poop there, everywhere, poop-poop and a poop-poop. Today, people would consider having a bowel movement on someone while having sex to be gross, because people are stuck up judgmental assholes. But you have to remember that shit didn't stink back in the good old days. Now, back in those days, there was very little crime because there wasn't any poverty. People felt good about themselves, and they felt good about each other, and there was peace on earth, and there was goodwill towards men. People even felt good about their own shit. This did not sit too well with Lucifer. Satan knew that he could take over the world by causing your shit to stink, and that's exactly what he did. Satan sent his demons all over the world, and he infected your stool with germs and bacteria. And as soon as they took a shit, the smell was fucking horrible. People started to hate themselves, hate each other, and because their shit stank so bad. And this is what caused the first wars to break out, and Christianity to be formed. And Christianity is one of Satan's favorite religions because it teaches and indoctrinates people into hating sex and hating themselves and hating each other. But the most thing that it teaches, important thing that it teaches, is that getting fucked in the ass is a sin because shit comes out of your ass, and it stinks because Satan is a bad motherfucker. It didn't stink so bad when people took a shit. If it didn't stink so bad when people took a shit, people wouldn't be so uptight when it comes to sexual issues, especially when it comes to getting fucked in the ass. I often think about some guy who enjoys fucking his girlfriend in the ass, and he often gets a piece of fecal matter on his dick, and the smell is fucking horrible. But when he watches a porno film, the guy never gets a piece of fecal matter on his dick. Why is that? It's because the people who star in porno films are space aliens who look like humans. And space aliens live in much more advanced civilizations than we do, which is why guys never get pieces of fecal matter in their dick in the porno film. Unless it's a scat movie. And I wonder if any of you ever heard of a movie called Two Girls and One Cup. If you've heard of that movie, both women do not only just take a shit on each other, but they shit out diarrhea and rub it all over each other. But if that's not, they even throw up and rub it on each other. Now that goes way beyond the boundaries of good taste. And I can't figure out how anyone could get turned on looking at something like that. And in another scat movie, they show a woman taking a shit on a green plate, and because of that, and whenever I eat at the all-you-can-eat buffet, I make sure that I pick a green plate to eat my food because that reminds me of the scat movie while I am enjoying my meal. But only space aliens are in regular porno films. And I can prove that. They use space aliens. I once saw someone get an enema in a porno film, and the only thing that came out of their ass was water. Because space aliens are far more advanced in ways of processing their waste. Now, so, how does a space alien take a shit? There are many different ways. In civilizations that are only slightly more advanced than our people walk around naked, and they take a shit on the floor. Even in restaurants, they take a shit on the floor, and they don't have bathrooms either. And you may be thinking, isn't that way more disgusting than the way it is on Earth? No, it isn't. Their lakes and rivers are not polluted like on Earth because Earth is controlled by Satan. When a space alien takes a shit on the floor, people start praying to the poo-poo gods. And the poo-poo gods drop out of the sky and they clean up the mess. And this can take anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes. The harder people pray, the sooner the poo-poo gods drop out of the sky and they clean up the mess. And in more advanced civilizations, the excrement disappears so fast that after someone takes a shit, they don't even know that they took a shit. And in more advanced civilizations, the excrement evaporates as it is going through the intestines. Wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to take a shit anymore? And how about returning back to the days when taking a shit used to be sexy? And I can hear some fucking imbecile with no imagination say, if you didn't go to the bathroom, then your system would be all full of toxins and poisons and you'd get sick. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about more empowering ways of processing your shit so it doesn't stink. Now, if someone took a shit on the floor on Earth, do you really think that the poo-poo gods would drop out of the sky and clean it up? Of course not, because this planet is controlled by Satan. There is only one way to take this planet back, and that is to allow the Crystal Children to have more power, and I happen to be one of the original Crystal Children, which also can be known as having Asperger's syndrome, but it is the Crystal Children who are the ones who have imagination. Does that mean that being one of the Crystal Children mean that your shit won't stink? Unfortunately, their shit stinks for choosing to have the incarnation on this planet of stupidity and shit, no pun intended. It stinks very bad when a cat takes a shit, because cats are very angry at Satan for causing their shit to stink so bad, which is why they bury their turds when they take a shit, because they are trying to send those turds to hell and be with the devil. Now, can you imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have to take a shit anymore? And just imagine what this world would be like if people didn't take a shit anymore. Just imagine. Imagine there's no more pooping. It's easy if you try. No sewers below us. Above us, only birds that don't leave their white droppings of repulsive shit all over the place. Imagine all the people and birds living without taking a shit. They may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. With that in mind, when the days comes that shit don't stink anymore, there will be peace on earth at last.